Hey guys, so this is the first episode of A Full Day of Eating. Today I've got to consume 3,200 calories roughly. My macros are broken down 410 grams of carbs, 210 grams of protein and 80 grams of fat. So I'll show you just a typical day of the kinds of food that I eat and what it takes to hit your macros accurately. Hey guys, so this is meal one. This is what I have for breakfast. It's sort of like a protein porridge with yogurt and berries and all kinds of stuff in it. So I'll show you what I made. So these are the ingredients that I use for this breakfast. First off, I just use some frozen raspberries or mixed berries, whatever I've got at the time. Chobani yogurt. I get the plain flavor, so there's no fat. There's about 17 grams of protein, I believe, per one of these tubs. And only 7 grams of carbs and no fat, so that's an easy protein source. This is an interesting ingredient. This is Pro Nutro, so this is a South African breakfast porridge. I was born into a South African family, and this is something I had when I was a kid, and I find it in the international food sections here and keep buying it. It's basically a carb source. Then I just use a bit of full cream milk. You need that to mix in the breakfast porridge and give it a good consistency. I'll use skim or 2% milk depending on what my macros are, but at the moment I've got 80 grams of fat to play with, so I can afford to use some full cream milk, plus it gives a little bit of protein. So the protein that I'm going to use today is Gaspari Iso Fusion. And I like to get a lot of protein in the first meal of the day because I find it the hardest macro to hit. We'll go for whatever, maybe just 150 grams of berries. Let's see if I can do this one hand. 140, 151, 150, we'll take it. I just defrost these in the microwave. Okay, so the berries are done. So now what I'll do is I add the Chobani yogurt next. So next, I add the Pro Nutro, this breakfast cereal. So next, I put in the full cream milk. And this, I'm not really putting this in to hit macros, this is just for consistency. So that's pretty good. Tastes pretty good. So that's the first meal. I'll post the macros on the video. So it comes out to 500 calories, 48 grams of carbs, 4 grams of fat, and 50 grams of protein. But also worth noting that it's got 10 grams of fiber. So general rule, I want to get 10 grams of fiber for every 1,000 calories. Hey guys, so it's about 11:30. I was going to have another meal before I go to the gym. I usually like to get a couple in before I train, but my gym closes pretty early today at 1:30, so I'm going to have this pre-workout. It's a non-caffeine based pre-workout from Musashi. I bought this a while ago. I do like using a caffeine based pre-workout, but you need a break from that every now and then, so I kind of just bought this to fill the time. It's got creatine in it and a bunch of other ingredients I don't really care about. So the recommended serving for this is 30 grams and that'll give me about 20 grams of carbs and also 5 grams of creatine. Hey guys, so just got back from the gym doing a pull workout. Unfortunately it started raining on the way home and I ride a motorcycle, so I've got no wet weather gear on, as you can see, just my Gymshark hoodie, and yeah, it was absolutely horrible riding back in the rain, but time for a big lunch, so I'm going to show you what I do to prepare a meal when I've got some time on my hands. So the first thing that I do, if I'm able to, I hope this comes out clearly, but if I'm making a meal in the kitchen, I'll build it on MyFitnessPal first so I can see how it's going to affect my numbers. It doesn't take too long, and these ingredients for this pasta that we're going to make are ones that I use really frequently, so I kind of just tick the boxes and add them to meal number 2. So the macros for this meal will come out to 135 grams of carbs, 8 grams of fat, and 60 grams of protein with 8 grams of fiber. So that brings our total for the day to 204 grams of carbs, 12 grams of fat, which is really low considering how many calories we've taken in so far, but I'm going to use that later, I'll show you. And then 113 grams of protein, 18 grams of fiber. So pretty good start so far. Let's get to the kitchen and make this pasta. Okay, so here I've got all the ingredients already measured out. So I've got my 200 grams of frozen vegetables here, 140 grams of pasta. I've actually run out of pasta sauce, so what I'm going to do instead is just use a mayonnaise. So it's going to be a higher fat meal, but this is just going to give it a bit of creaminess. Otherwise it's a little bit bland. So I've got my 1 tin of tuna, and this is Kraft live-free 80% reduced fat cheese. The reason I like this is because the taste is pretty decent given that it's a low-fat cheese, but it's the macros that are really good. So per 100 grams we have about 38 grams of protein, only 5 grams of fat, and less than 1 gram of carbs. So this, what I do is, if I make a pasta, I pretty much use this as the final topping, and I just kind of add as much cheese as I need to get the protein amount to what it needs to be. So our water is just about coming to the boil, so I'll add our pasta. Put our frozen vegetables on top, so I'll just let that sit for 10 minutes or so. Those are the vegetables done. Stir up the pasta, so I think this is already getting pretty close to done. I'll just try one of these. Oh, how's the skill? Yeah, so they're done. These little shells don't take long at all. I've mixed the pasta in with the vegetables, so I'll just pour that into one giant bowl. So next is the tuna. So I don't need to weigh this because you can add it by the tin on MyFitnessPal, so that's pretty easy. Then I'll add the mayonnaise. So don't want to go too heavy on this because I want to have a treat later and I don't want to blow all my fat in one meal. But we're going to get about 20 grams here, which I think is roughly a tablespoon. Stir that up. So next is the cheese. So this is a pretty important protein component for the meal. Like I said before, so we're going to try and get about 50 grams. So now what I do is I just will stir this in. So I'll just zap this in the microwave for 2 minutes or so. Not even. I'll probably just put it in for 1 minute. If I cook it too long, the tuna dries out. But so that'll go in for 1 minute, and that's just to melt all that cheese so it gets nice and gooey and thick. And then the pasta's done. So that is pretty much the pasta done. It's just a big giant bowl of pasta, tuna and cheese and some vegetables. So that's meal number 2. Goes a long way to hitting my target for the day. 900 calories later, meal is done. But just looking at MyFitnessPal, I'm still pretty low on carbs. Like that, another 210 grams of carbs before I go to bed tonight. That's quite a bit, so I'm going to have a glass of fruit juice. I'm going to have 300 mils, probably of V8 juice. So here we go. This is V8 juice. I'm having the Appleberry Fusion. I normally get the tropical flavor, but I'm a bit burnt out on that. And this is a pretty healthy option, I guess. I mean, you could drink soda or, I don't know, I'm sure there's a lot you can have that's not as healthy as this. Okay guys, I've just woken up from 3 hours sleep after the gym. I was absolutely exhausted. I'm not sure why I'm feeling so tired, but time for another meal, because if I don't eat some, I'm going to have to start really packing it down right before I go to bed, which I want to avoid. Okay guys, so because I've got a lot of fat to play with today, I'm going to have some peanut butter on toast. So I just use this Sanitarium, no sugar, no salt added butter. I've got some Helga's wholemeal grain bread here. So I'll take these, toast a couple of pieces, and then just to get the fat up a bit higher, some more full cream milk. I just drink this by the glass, I really enjoy that. So just weigh out 300 mils, so I think this will give us about 10 to 15 grams of fat from this alone. Okay guys, so this is the macros that we got for that last meal. So the milk, the peanut butter on toast with the honey. So it was 618 calories. 60 grams of carbs, 29 grams of fat, and 27 grams of protein, and 8 grams of fiber. And here's the totals for the day so far. So 253 grams of carbs, remember we're aiming for 410, 50 grams of fat, and 41 grams of protein. So it's really just the carbs that I need to get in. So guys, I've just built meal number 4 on MyFitnessPal, so something that really just to get the carbs in. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to put some Woolworths rice, some microwave rice into this one. So that'll give me 111 grams of carbs, so that's pretty much the big hit that I need. 100 grams of vegetables, because I still need to get another serving of those in. Again, the Kraft 80% fat-free cheese, so that'll give me 23 grams of protein there. And then just some light tuna from John West, so pretty much no fat, no carbs, 13 grams of protein. So it's a pretty boring meal. I don't really have a whole lot. I really need to do some grocery shopping and fill up the kitchen, but it'll just have to do for today. So here are the ingredients. I've got my rice, I've got my tuna, I've got my vegetables, and I've got my cheese. So I'll just microwave the vegetables and the rice, and then stir everything else in, and might microwave it a bit more if I want the cheese to melt. So I know I'm totally over-reliant on the microwave, but it's just for the sake of convenience for today. So I've got my frozen vegetables here, got my tin of tuna already drained, I've got my Kraft cheese which I'll put on, and I've got the steamed white rice, so I put this on top so this melts the cheese. So that's it guys, a pretty boring, horrible, bland meal, but it's kind of my own fault given that I don't have a lot of food in the kitchen to play with today. I saved up some fat during the day so I could have some chocolate tonight, so I'm going to show you what I treat myself with when I've got a few macros to play with. So here it is guys, I'm going to have a Kinder Surprise. So I'll also have one of these. This is like an Italian chocolate, so Kinder Cereali. It's like chocolate with oat puffs in it. And I like washing down chocolate with just some milk, so it's just some more full cream milk, and that is going to get us a total of 37 grams of carbs, 24 grams of fat, and 12 grams of protein with no fiber. So for the day, 411 grams of carbs, 82 grams of fat, 203 grams of protein, 38 grams of fiber. So I've hit pretty much every target. Before you get upset, yes, I am going to show you what was in the Kinder Surprise. I think it's a leopard or a jaguar. Bang, so up in the collection with the rest of my manhood. So guys, that's it for my full day of eating. That was an example of what I would call a very, very slight bulk. I'm hovering just around maintenance at 3,200 calories. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave me some comments and any sort of feedback that you have. This is my first video, so I plan on learning as much as I can and improving the quality and everything else. So thanks again, guys. Cheers.